to the Divestment disaster!
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue.
A black single mother was found dead in a shallow grave in the Arizona desert after going out on a date with a Hispanic man she met online.
The search for 21-year-old Ariana Jones has come to a tragic end. Authorities tell us the young woman who was reported missing last week has been found dead in a remote part of the desert near Lake Pleasant.
It's heartbreaking. It's sad that a young person can't go out and enjoy their life without something like that happening to them.
We have also made an arrest in this case.
During a news conference today, Glendale police explained how a seemingly innocent date at the movies turned deadly in a matter of hours.
We're not quite sure where the motive lies in all of this, if this was a crime of passion or if this was a situation that just escalated out of control.
According to court paperwork, Ariana met up with a man she met on social media the night of July 5th. They reportedly went to a movie, then drove out to Lake Pleasant. Ariana never came home. Her family reported her missing a couple days later, launching a full-scale investigation that ended with Ariana's remains discovered in the desert and her date, 24-year-old Dominic Rodolico, behind bars accused of murder.
We were really hopeful that we would be able to provide this family a better closure and reunite them with their loved ones, but unfortunately that wasn't the case.
Police say when Ariana's family reported her missing, officers went to her apartment off 59th Avenue in Northern and found evidence that the young woman may have been abducted. We're told an extensive search of cell phone data and surveillance video helped retrace the suspect's steps and led them to the shallow grave where the young woman's body was found. Rodolico reportedly denied killing Ariana, claiming they were attacked by two men out in the desert.
We can tell you that his story continuously changed. As he kept trying to describe the attack of these two individuals, the attack became a little bit more dramatic, less dramatic. He talked about the fact that at one point he escaped and just left her behind. And he never reported the incident to us. He never reported to anyone other than his family.
Police are not saying yet how Ariana was killed, but we did learn that a movie theater cup was found near her body. Detectives are trying to sort out what the motive was. Rodolico has been charged with first-degree murder and is being held on a $2 million bond. Live in studio, Jason Berry for Arizona's Family.
Now, according to reports, 21-year-old Ariana Bailey Jones allegedly met 24-year-old Dominic Rodolico on social media. I mean to speak ill of the dead, but I gotta wonder, what was up with them Mr. Snuffleupagus fake eyebrows and them face tattoos? I mean, what guy would see this woman as attractive to even think about considering dating? And after meeting Dominic Rodolico and talking to him online, she arranged to meet with him in real life. And after they met in real life, they went to the movies. And after they went to the movies, Dominic Rodolico and Ariana Jones went to Lake Pleasant in Arizona, where basically Dominic Rodolico was the only one who left that area. And after Dominic Rodolico left his date, Ariana Bailey Jones' parents went and filed a missing report when she did not return home. And eventually what happened is that as police did their investigation, they soon found Ariana Bailey Jones' body buried in a shallow grave. And after finding Ariana Bailey Jones' body buried in that grave, that's where police did their investigation and soon took Dominic Rodolico into custody and charged him with first-degree murder. Now, the police in Glendale, Arizona, are seeing the death of Ariana Bailey Jones as an isolated incident. However, when I take a critical examination of the alleged actions of Dominic Rodolico, it definitely fits within the pattern and profile of beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis, and the antisocial behavior of cyber simps that I talk about in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. And it's looking to me like Dominic Roderico possibly was one of these cyber simps who basically went out here and created an online persona to cover up many of his serious issues that he had in his personal life. Because when it comes down to a lot of the individuals who are using online platforms like social media, what they do is look to create an online persona to basically be the avatar for who they want to be. And as they create this online persona, it can be very appealing to a lot of people, especially desperate black women like single mothers, swirlers, and divestors who just get mesmerized by those crystal blue eyes and that creamy white skin that they believe covers a multitude of sins and imperfections. However, what that persona does is look to cover and overcompensate for the serious character issues this individual has, because when it comes down to most regular people have no problem going out here and having social interactions with regular people in real life. But when it comes down to those who go out here and use online platforms, they need to use these platforms because they can't function in a social environment outside of being behind the computer. And as these people can't really function in real social situations, what happens is that they use the online persona to mask all of their issues. And that's possibly what Ariana Bailey Jones didn't know when she got involved with Dominic Roderico. As she got involved with Dominic Roderico and possibly was chatting with this man online, she didn't know the danger she was in with this individual and didn't know anything that much about him. And as she went to go meet this guy, she didn't know she was dealing with one of these possible individuals who was a clear and present danger. Because when it comes down to many of the beta males who go on online dating, many of these men live double lives. And as they live double lives, they have a regular life in the real world, and then they have a life in a place that I call, in the man crisis, the secret world. And in the secret world is a place where they feel comfortable about participating in their natural masculinity and natural sexuality, where they basically want to see people not as people, but see people as objects. And as they see people as objects, they look to go out here and use people as objects to participate in their fantasies as related to the deviant and debaucherous behavior they actually want to participate in. And possibly that's what Ariana Bailey Jones didn't know about this Hispanic man. No, this young black woman who was a single mother possibly never knew the danger she was in by going out here and looking to date this guy online, and didn't know that this guy basically wanted to go out here and go take her out on a date as a ruse to get her out into the desert. And as he got her out into the desert, his plan basically was to go out here and possibly participate in one of his deviant fantasies, and that whole situation possibly could have been the thing that led up to the death of Ariana Bailey Jones. And after he wound up, according to these reports, possibly being the prime suspect in taking her life, what happened was he possibly buried this woman in that shallow grave and then went on with his life. Because when it comes down to these types of beta males, what they do is they want to have a smooth world, and after they wind up participating in their deviant acts, they go back to going back to their regular life like nothing actually happened. And that possibly could have been the situation that happened here to this young black woman who basically thought that she hit the jackpot when this Hispanic man, or this Italian man, depending on his last name, basically wound up giving her some attention. And as she thought she had basically hit the jackpot with this dude, she thought she was going to be just going out on a date with a guy, not understanding that she was basically dealing with a possible sociopath or a possible psychopath in this case. And that's what happens a lot of times with women who go out here and go out on online dating. Because when it comes down to again, like I said before, the people who are using these platforms to go out here and date, they basically have nefarious purposes, similar to what I saw when I talked about in a previous video, where a young English woman decided to go out to Dubai with this guy, and as he got her to go out to Dubai, basically he then revealed who he really was, and as he revealed who he really was, that young woman was forced to defend herself from this predator and wound up taking his life. And now that young woman is in the case where she may be facing a firing squad in Dubai, all for defending herself. And when I look at that whole situation with that woman, and I look at what happened with Ariana Bailey-Jones, again, it really reinforces my point about looking to not deal with dating anyone online. No, what you want to do is, if you want to go out here and meet people, you meet them in public spaces, and you go out here and meet them face to face. And as you meet them face to face, it gives you an opportunity to really assess their character and assess their body language and assess everything about them, something you really can't do online, because with many of these guys online, what they do as they're in their public persona, in their online personas, what they do is go out here and say things that they believe you want to hear, and you can't really gauge things like their facial expressions or their body language to get a sense of who they are. But you can do that in a real life interaction. You can do that in a real life interaction in real time, and you can also basically feel their vibe and feel their energy, and that can tell you a lot more about that person than you would if you went out here and met them for the first time online. And this is again why you need to avoid dealing with online dating or dating anyone online, because when I look at the guys that are, or women that are out here who are on these online platforms, I look at them all with a side eye and see red flags all around them. And basically, Ariana Bailey-Jones possibly had a couple of those, because she was a single mother and she had tattoos on her face. Those were already red flags right there for me. But this guy basically was one of the more dangerous ones, because he was hiding a whole bunch of red flags. And as this whole story went on, he basically has gone out here and said, oh, I took her out into the desert, and after I took her out into the desert, basically people came up on them. And that's, again, that story is quite suspect, because how is it that he's coming out unscathed and this woman is the only one who wound up missing? That whole story in and of itself doesn't add up, but it adds up as related to the behavior of the type of antisocial individuals who we see on these online platforms, the type of antisocial behavior that they wind up participating in on these online platforms that these men try to hide from everyone. Because when it comes down to these type of guys and women who are on these online platforms, these are not people who, again, can function socially and function in the real world. No, these are very dangerous individuals, and that's why anybody who is worth their salt doesn't go out here and participate in online dating. Now, when I look at this whole situation as related to the evidence against this guy, this Dominic guy, whatever his name is, Dominic Roderico, when I look at the evidence against this guy, it's basically a clearly, possibly open and shut case where this guy will go from being a guy who was perusing girls online to basically going to be in the whole penal system, and he will be being perused as related to his profile by Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, as they go out here and look at him online. And as they're looking at him online, they're going to be looking to go out here and look to swipe left or swipe right as they look to see what they're going to trade as related to items in the commissary, such as Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, Keef coffee, Taster's Choice coffee, off-brand lemon lime drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand orange drink, off-brand kiwi strawberry drink, off-brand cranberry juice, off-brand apple juice, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand vanilla wafers, off-brand ginger snaps, Hunt's snack pack puddings, beef jerky with cheddar cheese, beef jerky with mozzarella cheese, beef jerky with Monterey Jack cheese, beef summer sausage, packages of soy sauce, packages of sriracha sauce, packages of Velveeta cheese, prison chips, the whole shebang. I mean, they gonna be trading the Fritos chips, the hot flaming Cheetos, and all the items, and the pork cracklings, gonna be trading all of that for this guy's front side and his backside as they turn him from a tight end into a wide receiver. And after they go out here and run the A train on the front side and the backside and spit roast this dude, Mr. Sprinkle's gonna come in and give him the date of his life as he goes out here and turns out that front side by glazing it with, to the point where it looked like some fried chicken. And go out here and go out here and stick that carbon raw in the backside, call all the guys from Cell Block D, and then split them cheeks open and have this dude's and show everybody this dude's backside looking like the inside of a Louisiana crunch cake. That's basically going to be the fate of this Dominic Roderico, who will basically rue the day he basically looked to go out here and look to go online on this date with this Ariana Bailey Jones. He will rue the day that he did that, because he will now be in this penitentiary for the rest of his life, because he's being charged with first-degree murder as related to this case. But that's just what happens with these beta males, because with these beta males, they live in their own world. And as they're living in their own world, they basically think that they can go out here and participate in these deviant fantasies and nobody will find out. However, what they don't understand about being online is that you wind up leaving a digital trail behind you, and that's how the police basically found this guy. Because what everybody just doesn't understand, that I understand as an A+ certified IT technician, is that when it comes down to all these cell phones, these laptops, these tablets, all these devices have a Wi-Fi card, and the Wi-Fi card inside of those devices basically has an IP address that can just basically figure out where you are in anywhere in the world. And if it can go out here and figure out that your cell phone was in that location, it can basically find you. And if it can find you and that same person in the same place at the same time, basically they have hard evidence to confirm that you were there with that person, and basically they can go out here and create a case of evidence around this person. And that's what many of these guys out here who go out here and do online dating, who go out here and think about participating in deviant acts, don't understand. That Wi-Fi card in that phone, that Wi-Fi card in that laptop, that Wi-Fi card in that tablet, and even in your iWatch can basically incriminate you. And that's why, again, these guys who are on online dating are just very stupid, in addition to being dangerous, because the same devices they use to go out here and look to target people with are the same devices that can go out here and get them convicted. That's what they really don't understand. But the whole thing is that these guys are really dangerous. And again, if you want to meet them in the real world, and meet them through vetted sources like friends and family, that's the safest way to meet people, because at least those people know something about that person, and they can tell you all about this person's character and background as related to them. And with that, you can basically have someone who vouches for this person to let you know that they are of good character. If you go out here like many of the swirlers and divestors and go on online dating, there's no telling who you're going to be dealing with or what character they have. Nope, what happens in the case of many of the swirlers and divestors is that these individuals just get so caught up in the color of a person's skin or their ethnicity, and the fact that this person of a different color or ethnicity is paying attention to them, that they're not paying attention to the dangers that are around them as related to this person. Because this person that you're dealing with from being online is a virtual stranger, and again, you're only going by what you see as related to the virtual persona they are presenting, and that whole virtual persona can be very different from the real person you're dealing with. And that's what leads to the dangers that many of these black women who are swirlers and divestors getting into with guys like this, similar to what happened to Sade Robinson and Dakara Thompson, who basically thought they were going out here with guys who they thought were decent, but when you take a look at these guys and it's related to their demeanor and their body language, they basically come off like creepers. But sadly, when it comes down to many of these black women, they're just so mesmerized by the fact that a non-black person is paying attention to them. They get caught up in those crystal blue eyes and that creamy white skin that covers a multitude of sins and imperfections. They can't see that there's really a lot of red flags as related to this person, can't see that there's a lot of red flags at the fact that this person is online, because again, like I said before, any person who has their stuff together has no problem going out here and getting attention from people in real life. And if they have to go online to get attention, that already tells you there's something wrong right there. Unfortunately, when it comes down to a lot of black women, they basically like this single mom, think that they're gonna hit the jackpot with this non-black person paying attention to them, and as they're spellbound and having dreams of happily ever after, they don't know that they're in the middle of a situation that could lead to a divestment disaster. And that's sadly what happened here to Ariana Bailey Jones, and now a child doesn't have their mother, and this whole situation is quite troubling. It's quite troubling because, again, it just shows the dangers of online dating, because you don't know who you're dealing with at the other end of that computer, that tablet, or device. Now, if you want to learn how to identify the behavior of beta males, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com, and that book will basically detail all the antisocial behaviors that beta males participate in, so that you can either learn to avoid these individuals or look to show these individuals this antisocial behavior so that they can go out here and get some help from a licensed psychotherapist or mental health counselor. And if you want to learn all about the dangers that are online as related to the social marketplace of dating and relationships, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, on Amazon.com. And that book goes in depth on the behavior of cyber simps that's really antisocial, and also identifies all the things that cyber simps do, like creating these online personas, so that you can go out here and learn how these people operate, so that you can protect yourself when you go to places like social media. And if you want to see me make more videos talking about the divestment disasters or online dating, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App to help me stay on the air. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, An Offer He Can't Refuse. The man who rules the world gets a job offer he can't refuse in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes, An Offer He Can't Refuse at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. Now available in paperback and e-readers, ISIS, Runway of Doom. The goddess next door struts her stuff on the catwalk to take on a runway of rogues in this action-packed all-new ISIS series adventure. Get your copy of ISIS, Runway of Doom at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Esteem a New Woman. The devilish diva starts on the road to becoming a new creature in Christ in this all-new Esteem series adventure. Get your copy of Esteem a New Woman at Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.